All right, greetings, everyone. Today we are reading the rest of Esther, which is chapter 3 to 9.
All right, greetings, everyone.
Yeah, but hold on.
Today
there is a delay.
we are reading
Hi, greetings. Yeah,
rest
but
of
it's my
Esther,
Instagram. I gotta turn this down
which
because
is
it's delaying me. Hold
chapter
on.
3 to 9. Greetings, everyone.
Oh yeah, no, it's not gonna work. Okay, good. We're good. Way better, because that is not gonna work. That was gonna drive me crazy. Hi, Nano. Um, let me just make sure that I really am streaming everywhere. Yep, actually, it looks like I am. Let me make sure that they can hear me. We're gonna do Esther chapter 4 to 9. That's where we left off last time. And I'm just checking my sound quality. Let me write it here. Can you all hear me? Because my babies are not answering the phone. Are you able to hear me? Yes. Okay, but is somebody helping the boy? Yeah, but you know what to do. Y'all go help him. Tell me up, please. Thank you. No, you're gonna do it. All right. I hope everyone's having a great fasting because I am. I have not drank anything since yesterday around like 11 p.m., 10, 11 p.m. So I'm pretty parched. However, I'm gonna try to read this entire thing. And then as soon as sun goes down, it's on like Donkey Kong with these drinks. I'm making like a nice smoothie or something. All right, here we go. Chapter 4, Esther. When Mordecai perceived all that was done, Mordecai rent his clothes and put on sackcloth with ashes, and went into the midst of the city and cried with a loud and bitter cry. And came even before the king's gate, for none might enter into the king's gate clothed with sackcloth. And came even before the king's, and in every province, whithersoever the king's commandment and his decree came, there was great mourning among the Jews, and fasting, and weeping, and wailing, and many lay in sackcloth and ashes. So Esther's maids and her chamberlains came and told it to her. Then was the queen exceedingly grieved, and she sent raiment to clothe Mordecai, and to take away his sackcloth from him. But he received it not. Then called Esther for Hathach, one of the king's chamberlains, whom he had appointed to attend upon her, and gave him a commandment to Mordecai to know what it was and why it was. So Hathach went forth to Mordecai unto the street of the city, which was before the king's gate. And Mordecai told him of all that had happened unto him, and of the sum of the money that Haman had promised to pay the king's treasury for the Jews, to destroy them. Also, he gave him the copy of the writing of the decree that was given at Shushan, to destroy them, to show it unto Esther, and to declare it unto her, and to charge her that she should go in unto the king to make supplication unto him, to make request before him for her people. And Hathach came and told Esther the words of Mordecai. Oh, hold on, y'all. A live goal achieved. Yay! Check the goal and celebrate the moment. Where is my goal? Thanks, y'all. Y'all are the ish. Hold on. I need to do something real quick. Thanks. How do I send thanks? Can I press thanks? Oh. Um. Yo, somebody help that boy. Can y'all help the boy? Hi, babies. Tell Mia to help the boy. Help the boy. Oh my God, I got a 30 babies. Where is an older baby? Hi, baby. Where's Mia or Beauty? Where's Mia or Beauty? Briny baby. Where's Mia? Take care of him. Thank you. Thank you, Briny. I love you. Love you. That's what happens when you got like 30 babies. Cute, right? Okay. Let's see. Again, Esther and Hatash came and told Esther the words of Mordecai. And again, Esther spoke unto Hatash and gave him commandment unto Mordecai. All the king's servants and the people of the king's provinces do know that whatsoever, whether man or woman, shall come unto the king into the inner court, who is not called, there is one law of his, to put him to death, except such to whom the king shall hold out the golden scepter, that he may live. But I have not been called to come in unto the king these 30 days. And they told to Mordecai Esther's words. Then Mordecai commanded to answer Esther, think not with thyself that thou shalt escape in the king's house, for more than all the Jews. Okay, Mordecai, let her know. Girl, who are you? Better remember that bloodline, okay? For if thou altogether holdest thy peace at this time, then shall there enlargement and deliverance arise to the Jews from another place. Okay, let them know. But thou in thy father's house shall be destroyed. And who knoweth whether thou art come to the kingdom for such a time as this? Wise words, Mordecai. Then Esther bade them return Mordecai this answer. Go, gather all together all the Jews that are present in Shushan, and fast ye for me, and neither eat nor drink 3 days, night or day. I also and my maidens will fast likewise, and so will I go in unto the king, which is not according to the law, and if I perish, I perish. So Mordecai went his way and did according to all that Esther had commanded him. So that was chapter 4. And those are extremely wise words. I don't know about everybody else in their fasting journey. I'm not even going to give my testimony right now because it is like a lot. But I am with the fasting, okay? And I'm with the fasting and the praying. And I'm with the fasting, praying, and the miracles that show up from fasting and praying. Like for real. The 3-day fast of no water, no nothing, no drink, no food, no water. My own testimony, as I have done it, and miracles have happened just right away. Like the miracle that I was looking for, it happened. So it is what it is. I'm not here to convince nobody else. That's the word of the Lord. It's something to it, at least on my end. So let me just make sure anybody have any prayer requests, please put it in the comments. Let me just make sure anybody else got logged in. Gratitude everyone for checking in with me, joining the live. I appreciate it. Put any prayer requests in the comments. It'll be my pleasure to pray for you. So I'm going to continue on to chapter 5. Now it came to pass on the third day that Esther put on her royal apparel and stood in the inner court of the king's house, over against the king's house, and the king sat upon his royal throne in the royal house, over against the gate of the house. And it was so, when the king saw Esther the queen standing in the court, that she obtained favor in his sight. And the king held out to Esther the golden scepter that was in his hand. So Esther drew near and touched the top of the scepter. Then said the king unto her, What wilt thou, Queen Esther? And what is thy request? It shall be given thee to the half of the kingdom. Nice king, huh? Must have been in a good mood, or she obtained favor, or maybe it was that fast. And she obtained favor from the Lord. Okay. And Esther answered, If it seem good unto the king, let the king and Haman come this day unto the banquet that I have prepared for him. Smart woman. She didn't come straight out with it. Then the king said, Cause Haman to make haste, that he may do as Esther hath said. So the king and Haman came to the banquet that Esther had prepared. And the king said unto Esther at the banquet of wine, What is thy petition? And it shall be granted thee. And what is thy request? Who is that? Open the door, Papa. What do you want, little man? I just want to go. Love you. Close my door, crazy boy. Okay, yeah, you call yourself. Be careful. Help me get rid of that off the floor, okay? Love you. Papa, you're okay, you made it. It was the hanger. It's the hanger behind you. Get rid of that hanger off the floor before somebody else fall. Yep, go. Yep, go put it in the room. Thank you. Okay. Where are we at? Oh, babies, boy. I love them. They're my great babies. Okay, so where are we at? Okay. And the king said unto Esther at the banquet of wine, What is thy petition? And it shall be granted thee. And what is thy request? Even to the half of the kingdom it shall be performed. Then answered Esther and said, My petition and my request is, if I have found favor in the sight of the king, and if it please the king to grant my petition and to perform my request, let the king and Haman come to the banquet that I. Wait, what? My bad, y'all. I already read that part. I don't even know where I'm at. Wait, what? This is where I'm at. Why is it repeating? So the king, yeah. All right, I'm gonna just keep reading. I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's just trying to repeat it. I don't know. If I have found favor in the sight of the king, and if it please the king to grant my petition and to perform my request, let the king and Haman come to the banquet that I shall prepare for them. And I will do tomorrow as the king hath said. Smart girl. She fed her enemy first. Got it. Then went Haman forth that day joyful and with a glad heart. But when Haman saw Mordecai in the king's gate, that he stood not up nor moved for him, he was full of indignation against Mordecai. Nevertheless, Haman refrained himself. And when he came home, he resent and called for his friends and Zeresh, his wife. And Haman told them of the glory of his riches, and the multitude of his children, and all things wherein the king had promoted him, and how he had advanced him above the princes and servants of the king. Haman said, moreover, yeah, Esther the queen did let no man come in with the king unto the banquet that she had prepared but myself. And tomorrow am I invited unto her also with the king. Yet all this availeth me nothing, so long as I see Mordecai the Jew sitting at the king's gate. Then said Zeresh, his wife, and all his friends unto him, let a gallows be made of 50 cubits high. And tomorrow speak thou unto the king, that Mordecai may be hanged thereon. Then go thou in merrily with the king unto the banquet. And the thing pleased Haman, and caused the gallows to be made. So that was chapter 5. Greetings, everyone. If you have any prayer requests, please put in the comments. Any comments that you want to talk about, let's do it, as long as it please pertains to the Bible, because that's what I'm here for. Greetings, everyone. Thanks for joining. I love it. I'm gonna keep going. I don't see any comments here that are necessarily about the Bible here. Okay. Let me continue. Chapter 6, Esther chapter 6. Where's my time? Okay, I see it. On that night could not the king sleep, and he commanded to bring the book of records of the chronicles, and they were read before the king. And it was found written that Mordecai had told of Bigthana and Teresh, two of the king's chamberlains, the keepers of the door, who sought to lay hand on the king Ahasuerus. And the king said, what honor and dignity have been done to Mordecai for this? Then said the king's servants that ministered unto him, there is nothing done for him. Yeah, nothing done for the man who told that people were coming to kill you, king. Okay. And the king said, who is in the court? Now Haman was come into the outward court of the king's house to speak unto the king to hang Mordecai on the gallows that had prepared for him. And the king's servant said unto him, behold, Haman standeth in the court. And the king said, let him come in. So Haman came in, and the king said unto him, what shall be done unto the man whom the king delighteth to honor? Now Haman thought in his heart, to whom would the king delight to do honor more than to myself? And Haman answered the king, for the man whom the king delighteth to honor, let the royal apparel be brought, which the king useth to wear, and the horse that the king rideth upon, and the crown royal which is set upon his head. And let this apparel and the horse be delivered to the hand of one of the king's most noble princes, that they may array the man withal whom the king delighteth to honor, and bring him on horseback through the street of the city, and proclaim before him, thus shall it be done to the man whom the king delighteth to honor. Okay. That's a lot. Haman. Then the king said to Haman, make haste and take the apparel and the horse as thou hast said, and do even so to Mordecai the Jew, that sitteth at the king's gate. Let nothing fail of all that thou hast spoken. Okay, Haman. Then took Haman the apparel and the horse and arrayed Mordecai, and brought him on the horseback through the street of the city, and proclaimed before him, Thus shall it be done unto the man whom the king delighteth to honor. And Mordecai came again to the king's gate, but Haman hasted to his house mourning, and having his head covered. And Haman told Zeresh, his wife, and all his friends everything that had befallen him. Then said his wise men and Zeresh, his wife, unto him, if Mordecai be of the seed of the Jews, before whom thou hast begun to fall, thou shalt not prevail against him, but shalt surely fall before him. And while they were yet talking with him, came the king's chamberlains, and hasted to bring Haman unto the banquet that Esther had prepared. Well, that is chapter 6 and Esther. I'm going to just check, make sure if you have any prayer requests or any comments, biblical really related, put it in the comments. I will do my best to answer and see what it is that y'all talking about. This story is before David became king. Esther, yeah, for sure. And how you know they call me Jamon? I didn't know that, but good day. Appreciate you. Home 305 Team Investments. What's up, 305 Miami? 305 to the top. All right. Nice to see you. Thanks. Yeah, nice to see you too. Thanks for commenting. Yes, this is a great time to be alive. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. It's a great time. And oh, I just need to make a comment. That was fantastic work, okay? So anyone who's like, oh, I don't know about fasting and praying and miracles, that was just one. What's up, baby? Yeah, can you get out? Yo, come on. Send me a letter under the door or something. Okay. Asking me about muffins. It's my babies though, so they don't fast. Only like the ones who are hit puberty. So the other ones are eating. All right, let's continue. That is a miracle, okay? Because what he intended for not good, God made good instead. So for the ones who was fasting and praying, okay? So chapter 7, Esther. So the king and Haman came to banquet with Esther the queen. And the king said again unto Esther, on the second day at the banquet of wine, what is thy petition, Queen Esther? And it shall be granted thee. And what is thy request? And it shall be performed, even to the half of the kingdom. Then Esther the queen answered and said, if I have found favor in thy sight, O king, and if it please the king, let my life be given me at my petition, and my people at my request. Oh, sorry, y'all. I was looking at something. For we are sold, I and my people, to be destroyed, to be slain, and to perish. But if we had been sold for bondmen and bondwomen, I had held my tongue, although the enemy could not countervail the king's damage. Then the king Ahasuerus answered and said unto Esther the queen, who is he and where is he that durst presume in his heart to do so? And Esther said, the adversary and enemy is this wicked Haman. Then Haman was afraid before the king and the queen. And the king, arising from the banquet of wine in his wrath, went into the palace garden. And Haman stood up to make request for his life to Esther the queen. For he saw that there was evil determined against him by the king. Then the king returned out of the palace garden into the place of the banquet of wine. And Haman was fallen upon the bed whereon Esther was. Then said the king, will he force the queen also, before me in the house? As the word went out of the king's mouth, they covered Hamon's face. And Harboneh, one of the chamberlains, said before the king, Behold, also the gallows 50 cubits high, which Hamon had made for Mordecai, who had spoken good for the king, standeth in the house of Hamon. Then the king said, Hang him thereon. So they hanged Haman on the gallows that he had prepared for Mordecai. Then was the king's wrath pacified. Yikes. That was chapter 7. Yeah. The wicked will destroy the wicked. There's nothing more to it. Fasting and praying works, man. Just get in tune with your Bible, please. Get in tune with the Lord, because when you realize that you're no longer fasting for, like, you are fasting to speak with God, God speaks plainly. Like, some people maybe hear him. Mines are more like context clues, or I'm given a lot of things, like just rewarded with things.
Mom, Darcy said hi. How are you, Darcy?
Hi, I can see, baby. Get out.
Okay, I thought you could
Get out.
responded.
I'm talking. Get out, beaut. Anyways, the importance of fasting and praying is really to commune with God and to get peace and a sense of peace of your turmoils and your troubles, whatever is aguing you and plaguing you. Pray about it and be answered. Simple. Hi, Darcy. I'm doing well. How are you today? I'm feeling actually very blessed. I have a lot of energy. So don't, if people say, oh, I don't know, I don't have energy because of, okay, go tell Beauty or Mia. If they say, oh, I don't have energy because I'm fasting and da da da, and I have this ailment and that ailment and this ailment and that ailment, I cannot fast. All right, like, this maybe ain't for you. Like, but for those who ain't trying to hear all that, who know that there is miracles and the Bible is full of supernatural order, this is for y'all. Okay? So let me just make sure ain't nobody wrote a comment that needs to be answered or anything. Okay, great. Gratitude. I'm gonna keep going. Yeah, because I have 3 minutes. Okay, so chapter 8. On that day did the king this is Esther chapter 8. On that day did the king Ahasuerus give the house of Ammon, the Jews' enemy, unto Esther the queen. And Mordecai came before the king, for Esther had told what he was unto her. And the king took off his ring, which he had taken from Haman, and gave it unto Mordecai. And Esther set Mordecai over the house of Haman. And Esther spake yet again before the king, and fell down at his feet, and besought him with tears to put away the mischief of Haman the Agagite, and his device that he had devised against the Jews. And then the king held out the golden scepter towards Esther. So Esther arose and stood before the king, and said, If it please the king, and if I have found favor in his sight, and the thing seem right before the king, and I be pleasing in his eyes, let it be written to reverse the letters devised by Hamon the Agagite, by Hamon the son of Hammedatha the Agagite, which he wrote to destroy the Jews, which are all in the king's provinces. For how can I endure to see the evil that shall come on to my people? Or how can I endure to see the destruction of my kindred? Then the king of Ahasuerus said unto Esther the queen, and unto Mordecai the Jew, Behold, I have given Esther the house of Haman. and him they have hanged upon the gallows, because he laid his hand upon the Jews. Write ye also for the Jews, as it liketh you, in the king's name, and seal it with the king's ring. For the writing which is written in the king's name and sealed with the king's ring may no man reverse. Then were the king's scribes called at that time in the 3rd month, that is the month of Sivan, on the 23rd day. Therefore it was written according unto all that Mordecai commanded unto the Jews, and to the lieutenants and the deputies and rulers of the provinces which are from India unto Ethiopia, and 127 provinces, unto every province according to the writings thereof, and unto every people after their language, and to the Jews according to their writing and according to their language. And he wrote in the king Ahasuerus' name, and sealed it with the king's ring, and sent letters by post on horseback, and riders on mules, camels, and young dromedaries, wherein the king granted the Jews which were in every city to gather themselves together, and to stand for their life, to destroy, to slay, and to cause to perish all the power of the people and province that would assault them. Okay? Both little ones and women, and to take the spoil of them for a prey. Yikes. Upon one day in all the provinces of King Ahasuerus, namely upon the 13th day of the 12th month, which is in the month of Adar, the copy of the writing for a commandment to be given in every province was published unto all people, and that the Jews should be ready against the day to avenge themselves on their enemies. So the post that rode upon mules and camels went out, being hastened and pressed on by the king's commandment. And the decree was given at Shushan the palace. And Mordecai went out from the presence of the king in royal apparel of blue and white, and with a great crown of gold, and with a garment of fine linen and purple. And the city of Shushan rejoiced and was glad. The Jews had light and gladness and joy and honor. And in every province and in every city, whithersoever the king's commandment and his decree came, the Jews had joy and gladness, a feast and a good day. And many of the people of the land became Jews, for the fear of the Jews fell upon them. All right, what can I tell you? The Hebrews are a blessed people. Most of y'all are Hebrew and don't even know it. Just figure it out. God bless y'all. Be the people of God. I'll start chapter 9 next time. Oh, it is only chapter 9 and 10. But I'm gonna go. It's already time for me to break my fast soon. I want to get prepared. So God bless you all. Thank you for joining. Let me make sure anybody wrote any comments that I need to address. Put your prayers and your comments in the gratitude. Greetings, everyone, on my Instagram. Thanks for joining. Put any comments in the sections for me to comments. Excuse me, what's going on? If y'all need prayer, holla at me. It's in there. My TikTok is like freezing up. I got to go. Love you all. Gratitude. And I'm praying for you all. God bless you all. Good night. I gotta end this. This is like jamming out.